Okay, welcome again, welcome all. We are now live on YouTube. At least you can share this link to any of your friends who want to learn more about crypto space. Remember, if you have any questions, I'll be on the chat room. Drop any questions you have over there. Right now, I just want to pass the baton to Louis, who will take us through the first session, and then I'll be taking you through what has happened in the crypto space and more so the Q&A. So, Louis, take it away.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Lawrence, for the introduction. At least it's a beautiful Saturday morning in Nairobi. I think we are grateful, and also you also hope and wish that you're also doing well where you are. Today being Saturday, is it 17th? Oh yeah, 17th. It's about of course 9 past. So we're going straight to the topic of the day. So I just thought to share about what you call the crossing with the Chasm. It's a book actually that describes the way market or any technology evolves. In this case, we're talking about blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and of course Bitcoin. This is just to give you more information, more knowledge on how the industry is growing and where we are, and most likely also where we are going. So, because the only thing is you have to keep learning. You have to keep learning. As Lauren said, we are not experts. We are just sharing our journey. We learn every day. That's how we stay alive. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Remember, if you need this recording, it's being recorded on the YouTube channel, so you can actually follow the YouTube channel. You can watch a repeat of this video, and also all our past Bitcoin one that we've done before. So without wasting much time, let me go ahead and share my screen. So it's going to be an interesting session today, at most 30 minutes or 25 minutes at most. So this is an article I think I read sometime last week, and I've also I read this book called Crossing the Chasm. It's a book by an American writer called Geoffrey Moreau. I think it's More. Yeah, that's the name. So it's titled Crossing the Chasm. So I was trying to compare this to where we are in terms of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and basically Bitcoin, because that's the hot topic right now. This article actually was done by somebody called Teddy Fusaro, who runs a crypto also platform just like ourselves. So for us, it's good to read from all people. So getting to the point, at the moment, we've seen about 6 bubbles, because that's what the media likes calling Bitcoin. It's a bubble, meaning it keeps on bursting. And I think, or rather, I believe we're in the 7th bubble, so to speak. So each more epic than the previous one, and each bubble is astonishing when they're happening, meaning there's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of talk. But when you look back to those bubbles that happened before, they are very small in the chart. They are very, very small. And I think maybe actually I can just show you. Okay, I think I'll just show you later. But what remains is that they usually have a surge of activity in any of these bubbles. As if the way you're seeing right now, we are hearing all sorts of news titles, news companies coming in big in cryptocurrency. So that is very, it's a key component of bubbles, because that's where everybody is talking about the growth. And I think going back to our past videos, we took you through last time about market cycles. I think maybe we can be sharing the links on those past classes we had before. So in light of where we are, as you can see there, why crypto crosses the chasm in a post-coronavirus world, because I mean, we are living now in a different way of doing things. This guy actually says, or rather he asked a question, is the world ripe for change? And then, of course, looking at now what is happening, geopolitical tensions between US and China have been brewing for decades. I think now it's at its peak. Everybody is trying to to create their own niche, protect their own companies. We've had Nike and also Adidas like similar to App Store. The apps have been they were removed from the Chinese market. So that shows you the kind of quiet trade war that is going. Of course, the relationship that we as individuals have to each other and methods by which we communicate, work, and interact have been undergoing changes since the advent of social media. That is from the early 2000s. Everything now is more or less online. We talk, we connect, we date, we do everything online, we buy stuff. So that is the way the world is changing. To governments, of course, trust in governments and traditional institutions, including the way we consume news media from whom has been eroding at a quick pace for the past couple of years. And of course, not forgetting policy positions related to government deficits in terms of spending, taxation. I'm sure if you've been following the local media, even international media, they're talking about taxation, about loan money, as in there's a lot of talk about government changing policies in terms of money, and that is what I talk about change. So, in summary, the world has been furiously accelerating towards a digital, mobile, and virtual modes of speech, spending, living, loving, and warning from the most warning for the last 20 years. So the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020, uh, what did actually just hasten the transition, filling a vacuum that only needed to spark to ignite the flame that would become indefinite change, pushing the world across the Rubicon. I'll come to explain what a Rubicon is. A more resilient Western world would have already embraced the technology changes now being fostered upon society by the pandemic, because the pandemic is cutting across all nations. It's not like specific to a certain country or region. It's everywhere. So this would have been more easily to handle the public health and the economic financial fallout, because now everybody is struggling to handle all the happening that is going from China, from US to Japan, to South Africa, to Kenya. Everybody is trying to handle the way the COVID-19 is growing. So I think if you go to our website, actually, you will see this quote. It says the Russian, it's by a Russian communist, usually it's called Vladimir Lenin, said that there are decades when nothing happens, and then and weeks when decades happen. So in many respects, looking at what has happened 2021, it has been a year of decades. So that maybe ties well with what that guy was talking about, where there are decades when nothing happens and there are weeks when decades happen. So looking at 2020, 2021, pulling forward to newer ways in which we work, meet, live, communicate, and even so, vote, because now everything is like now we're going digital. So I think you just ask yourself, has it pulled forward the ways you are spending, the way you are saving, the way you're investing, and planning for the future? Have you thought about what is it in for you? So as I finish this part of use like the introduction part of this session today, you'll hear or rather commentators often miss the connection, but as many norms and institutions evolve into the digital future, mobile and virtual shape, so too the norms around banking, financial services, and investing, because that is where that is the language of exchanging value. So the interrelationship between the centralized system like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and many others, and dynamics that are often misunderstood and underappreciated, because that is what is out there. But for us, we have seen that this is where the world is heading into. That's why we have this what we call a digital shift, this digital shift, and we try and break it down. So, in my view, I thought to discuss and compare with this book called Crossing the Chasm, perhaps the most frequently referenced work on how new technologies achieve adoption. So, let's go to the point of the day. So, that's a figure, or rather, that's a diagram of what it's called the adoption curve. So, you'll see the first part, the green one is the innovators. These are maybe people who normally get on board new ideas. They take all the risk. And then there's a small Chasm, very small one. Then we have early adopters. I think that is the phase that we've just gone through. Then there is a gap. It's called the big scary Chasm in question. That's what we are talking about today. Then we have now the leap to early majority, and the late majority, then the laggards. Those are the last people. So these are particularly groups of, or rather how technology is adopted across years. So according to Moro, the disruptive technology must go through 5 stages of adoption, starting with tinkering innovators who first try new technologies through there. They just go out there and try it. They take the risk, as I said. Then, secondly, we have the early adopters, then the early majority, then late majority, as I said. So the two biggest group at the center, that is early majority and late majority. Those are the ones actually that make something global. They make something usable. So look at phones, look at internet, look at I mean, even in Kenya, look at M-Pesa. I think M-Pesa, maybe I think it's we are it's actually at the late majority. That's where M-Pesa is, and then finally to the laggards. Those people who come in way later when everything is working, everything is okay. So that's when they are able to use it. And I just remembered this quote by Mahatma Gandhi, which somehow ties to what I just shared before. It actually is the guy who said, first they ignore you. So this could be a reference to the innovator stage, or rather the early adopter stage. Then they laugh at you. That's where I think we are. Then they fight you. That's I think where we even are right now, very much so. And then finally you win. The moment you win, that's when now everything goes to the early majority. That's where once you win. So that's I think ties up to what Mahatma Gandhi said. First they ignore you, they laugh at you, they fight you, then you win. So that is much applicable to what it took today. So the most critical stage of the Monroe's framework, this particular writer, for these journeys is what he terms the chasm. So the chasm means it's like a gap between the early adopters and the early majority, because there is a step function difference between demands of these two cahoots or groups. That's where this particular phase is very important. And this is often where new technologies go to die. You will see very many things dying, very many things disappearing. Then the few who remain are the ones now who take it up all about. So these, I think, if you look back to the internet, the .com bubble, we have very many companies saying they're going to do very many things on the internet, but few remain. The few that remain, I think we know them. We can actually name them. There's Google, there is Yahoo, Amazon is there, a couple of PayPal is there. So very few companies remain, and they became big companies. So that is, I believe, where we are. So Bitcoin and crypto may not have been ready to jump across the chasm, meaning we have not really jumped that gap, this gap in that I'm talking about, the big scary gap at the center. I think that's where we are right now. We just about to get out of it, as per my observation. So I think, but the long year of 2020, that last year, propelled the world across the Rubicon, pushed cryptocurrency across its adoption chasm. So Rubicon, I think maybe I can. This is the time maybe I can tell you what Rubicon is. Where is it? I think I had it somewhere here. Where is it? Okay, I think that. But Rubicon basically means it's a point of no return. Once you cross, it's like actually it's a river in the Roman Empire. So this was done by I think the Julius Caesar. I think when he crossed the river, that instigated what it's called. I think it was a civil war back in the 49 BC or something. So meaning once where crypto has gone, it can never come back. Bitcoin can never come back. Bitcoin can never be none. It has gone. So it's upon people now to see how they're going to deal with it. So as investors and policymakers grapple with the changing dynamics of the developed world, monetary responses to the crisis alongside furious tech changes, giant financial companies like PayPal have also put in crypto at the fingertips of every customer. Meaning, I think we saw it here. I think we normally share it every day about the updates of big companies now offering Bitcoin or other crypto-based payments. They actually try to enable customers to easily now start using or spending their Bitcoin, storing and doing all that. Just last week, a crypto startup exchange or custody and trading platform called Coinbase, which listed on Wall Street. Actually, it's now trading at the stock exchange and the Nasdaq. It actually started at $394, $49 for a share. This is a company that nobody thought it would list on the stock exchange because they are dealing with crypto. But now it is a public trade company. What does it tell you? It's this now more operation coming on board. And then of course Coinbase, it has even more user accounts than very old financial giants like Charles Schwab, TD, Amitrade, very many like old brokers and companies who've been there for many years. They have bigger and much heavy accounts than them. At the moment, I think it was valued at $100 billion. That's what the value of Coinbase was. That is in like less than, I think, 9 years or 10 years. So the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, that's another platform. They now have what called Bitcoin futures derivatives contracts. It has become the largest and most active Bitcoin trading marketplace in the world. So these were, of course, a few years ago, it was unregulated and an domicile platform for pirates. They never actually wanted even to touch Bitcoin, but now they are actually asking the people that you can actually publicly trade these instruments of the market. So as I finish, let's look at the changing narrative that has happened in the past, is it 2 years or 3 years? So these are actually screenshots that I saw and I took somewhere. You can see these are big companies. At the top, you can see BlackRock CEO Larry Fink calls Bitcoin an index of money laundering. And then the same company some years later says what? BlackRock fund bought Bitcoin futures in January. Regulatory filing show. You see, at one point they are saying it's money laundering. This time they're saying they are actually filing for regulatory filings. Secondly, Bitcoin real value could be zero. Morgan Stanley analyst says. And then on the right side, Morgan Stanley becomes the first big US bank to offer its wealthy clients access to Bitcoin funds. I hope you are seeing the narrative here. Bitcoin is a fraud that will blow up, says JP Morgan boss. On the other side, actually this year, JP Morgan says investors could make Bitcoin 1% of their portfolios. Now they're asking their clients to at least have 1% of their portfolios. 1% of a portfolio for any client that JP Morgan's they have is actually not small money. You can imagine a client maybe having about $100 million. What is 1% of that? That's about is it $10 million? So you can see it's quite a big amount. Moving on, Goldman Sachs lists 5 reasons why Bitcoin is not an asset class nor a stable investment. That was some years ago. Today, exclusive Goldman Sachs restarts cryptocurrency desk amid Bitcoin boom. You see how these guys are operating. On the other one, Bitcoin is useless as a payment mechanism and ridiculous as a store of value. Ex-PayPal CEO. I just talked about CEO now. Again, you can see PayPal entry into crypto followed long build-up to inexpertise. Now they're actually opening up to their clients. The other one, Visa CEO won't process transactions in Bitcoin because it's not a payment system. The same people are saying right now, Visa is working to enable Bitcoin purchases. The other one, again, the Shoot Bank says Bitcoin is too volatile to be a reliable store of value. Right now, they're saying Bitcoin is too important to ignore. The Shoot Bank says. The other one, why Bitcoin is destined to become a niche asset. Why Bitcoin is destined to become a niche asset. And then again, that is the ING Bank exclusive. ING working on digital asset custody technology sources. Again, Vanguard sees idiosyncratic risk in cryptocurrency wild ride. The same case it was Fidelity, Vanguard, stock funds have been loading up on crypto mining stocks. You can see the streams. The last one, Howard Marks trashes Bitcoin and unfounded fund. Then again, what is he saying now? I've learned how much I don't know about Bitcoin, says investor word mark. So you can see. So in closing, as I finish, the global currents of course 2020 has have been both turbulent and severe. The world has been shaken to its core. I'm sure you know people, or you've seen people who actually not even working from home. They don't have jobs anymore. The first global pandemic in a century mixed with a torrent of necessary technologies adoption, causing all of us to adapt in different ways. We really need to adapt because you cannot just keep saying the world is everything is not going on well. So Bitcoin is based on enduring ideas of free speech, freedom of censorship, self-sufficiency, opportunity, resilience, and the right to privacy. It is with great optimism that we should view this acceleration of crypto manipulation due in part of 2020's global transformation. 2020 was the year that we will look back on and believe we crossed the Rubicon. So I think this where, let me just mute somebody. Okay, sorry about that. So I think this is where actually I put the division of Rubicon. So Julius Caesar crossing the Rubicon River in January, that is 10th January in the 41 BC, precipitated the Roman Civil War, which ultimately led to Caesar's becoming dictator and the rise of the imperial era of Rome. So today, now using what happened in the 49 BC, the phrase of crossing the Rubicon is a metaphor that means to pass a point of no return. That's what I explained earlier. So all these Bitcoin cryptocurrencies, blockchain, they cannot be undone. It is actually, it has moved on. So it's up to you, it's up to me, it's up to everyone of us to see how they can make the best out of it. So what is clear is the analogy analog. What is clear is analog world is behind us. The future is digital, mobile, distributed, trust minimized, and immutable platforms. So last year, as I actually myself actually agree with this particular writing, is that the world crossed the Rubicon and the cryptocurrencies are in the Chasm. That's where I think that's where we are. Let's see if we get out of it in 2021 to early majority phase. And of course, when it comes to early majority, it's up to us now to see what is in for you. I think with that, that is what I had shared for you today. If you maybe want to have a breakdown of this document, I will actually ask it, then I can share with you on the link. Otherwise, that was for me, and thank you very much. Let me pass over the hosting rights back to Lawrence. I'll be on the chat just to answer any of the questions that you may be having. So let me make Lawrence the host. All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Louis, for that very interesting and also valuable information on where we are at and where we are heading and how far we've reached. I think it's good to note and also good to really have in mind that as Louis is taking us through the way, the curve of innovation adoption. It's also good to know that there are four ways that wealth is distributed in any market. And I always big part of people who usually put billions of money in any innovation corporates. And this what is happening currently. And after that, now what you see is governments coming up with regulation. Why? Because they want a piece of the cake. They want to take taxes from the corporates and innovators and early adopters. And then after that, we have the end users. They are called the laggards. There are a whole lot of people who today they will claim they don't understand Bitcoin. I think you don't need to understand Bitcoin for you to invest. All you need to see is the value and ask yourself, if all these hedge funds, if all these banks, if all these institutions Louis has shared with us, one time they are saying these, the next time they are saying these. If all of them have seen the light, you as an individual, what are you doing? Because if today you had, for people who are in Kenya, if you had bought, I don't know whether all of us know something called a pager. There's like a small gadget that before mobile phones came, there's like a small gadget that came that was called a pager. It used to send us small messages. Where did they go to? Since the Jamii, where did they go to? Where did their moves go to? All this is adoption happening and evolution happening. And you don't want to be on the other side of innovation. Because as an end user, you'll just be taking the breadcrumbs from the table. You'll just be taking the breadcrumbs. We've been singing about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. I think this is our fifth year. And this is not a financial advice. I'm not telling any person to go and get his money and put it in cryptocurrency. No. Learn. Get knowledge first. Educate yourself. So let me go straight to the news. What has been happening across the globe so that we can also get to know the last 1 week what has been happening. So just give me a second. Let me share my screen. Share my screen. So, and I'll start with the price of Bitcoin today. Of course, today, if you want to buy one full Bitcoin, you need around $62,130, $62,130. This is for one full Bitcoin. Of course, we've had a lot of people who we call kind of experts, calling themselves experts, saying if you never bought Bitcoin below 10,000, it's already past you. I don't know how true is that. This will depend on how long are you willing to hold it as an asset. How long are you willing to hold it as an asset? In Kenya shillings, of course, if you want to buy, I'm sure there's a whole lot of Kenyans here. One Bitcoin in Kenya shillings is around 6.6 million Kenya shillings, is around 6.7 million. And why I'm so passionate about crypto, I've said it before and I'll say it again, is because I knew Bitcoin when it was 9 shillings. That was in 2010, and I did nothing. So you will understand from where I'm coming from and why we are so passionate about educating people and giving you the right information. We are not here to sell you anything. Now, to my first news. Gary Gensler has been confirmed as the new SEC chairman, Security Exchange Commission. And if you're in the crypto space, I think you have an idea what SEC is, because these are people who've been fighting crypto in terms of regulation for the longest time ever. So if you're in the crypto space, you totally understand what SEC means. So Gary Gensler was nominated, and it's good to note that this is a gentleman who used to teach blockchain and cryptocurrencies in MIT. He was teaching about cryptocurrencies in MIT, and now he's been appointed as a chairman, of the security. That chairman of the Security Exchange Commission. And we were just discussing with Louis here. We were saying, I don't know how the repo case will turn around, because I think Gary was one of the people who who pointed out that repo is a crypto, is a security. So now that he's sitting there at the SEC, I don't know how that will turn out. But it's good to see that now US is taking a turnaround in the crypto space, where I think President appointed Biden is trying to get people who have a whole lot of knowledge about crypto to his side. Because if you're to come up with regulation, if you're to come up to really understand how you're gonna how you're gonna treat something that it's new, you have to have people who totally understand it. And I think this is the second person who's been appointed, who is very good, who's been in the space for quite a while. So we are yet to see how this will end, and I'm wishing him all the best as he takes that role of SEC, and pray that he will also be at least more lenient to the crypto community. So to my second news, again, I know one of the biggest things, and I tell people when I was doing my first research in 2013 about Bitcoin, one of the biggest issue that was being broadcasted in all media stations was that Bitcoin is used for criminal activities, money laundering, drugs, selling of arms. Also, there are people who used to say it's used to fund terrorists and stuff. But there's an ex-CIA director who says criminals will move away from Bitcoin in the new lobbying group's first report. What does he say? The new Crypto Council for Innovation hopes to inform and influence regulatory efforts worldwide. And he said, unlike when people say that crypto is used for illegal activities, for him, he says, criminals don't use Bitcoin because it's open and transparent. I was sharing that with Louis, I think 2-3 days ago. And of course, these are some of the things that people who are in the crypto space for so long have been saying, that crypto is very hard for you to use crypto for illegal activities. We don't say it's not used, but unlike what is already there, dollars, shillings, the fiat currency, if you look at the margins are totally small. So of course, these are some of the good news that has happened this week. And then we go to Miami, and of course, it's good to know that one of the states in the US, Miami, is one of the states where this person who was elected here just the other day, he's pro-Bitcoin. And of course, right now, he states that, or she states that, a Miami commissioner wants to let residents pay taxes in Bitcoin. If you are in this forum and still you don't believe in Bitcoin, how can a government, the world superpower, which is US, allow part of their citizens to pay taxes in Bitcoin if Bitcoin is a scam, if Bitcoin is a fraud? Just ask yourself, what is the missing piece that you're not connecting? What is the dot that you're connecting? And this is why we have Bitcoin 101, so that we can help you understand and see that amidst all the noise that is out there, Bitcoin is here to stay. I was telling people, a time will come where you cannot afford to buy Bitcoin, but you will earn Bitcoin. You'll have to offer a service, or you'll have to give goods or to sell goods for you to earn Bitcoin. And I think the time is now here. The time is now here. To other news, regulators cannot ignore Bitcoin anymore, says Congressman Kevin McCarthy. And I think US has been one of the countries we've been watching in terms of crypto a lot, because they have been really fighting in terms of even like you do your KYC if you have to use an ATM, all this. There are so many regulations that are hindering crypto growth. But of course, I usually say you will never fight technology, and regulations will never come before innovation. It's up to the people who are seated on that, on the seats of regulatory bodies, to really know how to deal with what is happening, accept it, and move on. But you cannot try to really fight it. You cannot fight innovation. You cannot fight innovation. So it's good to see that he is telling people you cannot ignore Bitcoin anymore. Why? You can imagine, and these are facts. September last year, the whole market cap of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency was around $486 billion. That is in September. $486 billion. Today, if you check the market cap of cryptocurrency, give me a second, let me open this, so that we can see to date, what is the market cap of cryptocurrency to date? What is the market cap of cryptocurrency to date? So I hope all of you can see that. Today, the same market cap that was at $486 billion, in September last year, we are sitting at $2.3 trillion. Do your math. How much in terms of fiat currency have moved from institutions to the crypto market space? And this is the reason as to why you see regulators cannot ignore Bitcoins anymore. What did I say? Early innovators and angel investors, institutional investors will come in, or corporates, and government will come for its taxes. Now, if almost 2 trillion has come in the last 6 to 8 months, how will the government get to benefit? And how will they get their taxes? It's by regulation. So if you're thinking about Bitcoin, keep on thinking, keep on researching, but the world is not waiting for you. The world is not waiting for you. To other news, a 211 years old investment firm buys $4.79 million worth of Ethereum. This is a century-old Rothschild investment corporate. I think we all know Rothschild investment corporate. You can see it's a 211 years old investment firm. They have bought their first cryptocurrency, which is Ethereum. I don't want to go into details. I just want to show you that even people who we thought will never ever touch cryptocurrencies are coming on board. To my other news, 17 billion hedge fund. 17 billion hedge fund. It's opening. 17 billion hedge fund is holding Bitcoin with Coinbase. And I think this is a conversation maybe we can have another day. Have you ever asked yourself when you save your money in most of these institutional investors, what do they do with your money before they pay you your deal? So a lot of these companies are coming now open and saying, yes, we do hold Bitcoin. So you can imagine the 17 billion hedge fund is holding Bitcoin via Coinbase. Moving on swiftly, BlackRock. BlackRock is one of the the greatest asset management company in the whole world. The biggest, I think they manage over $7.9 trillion worth of assets, if I'm not wrong. And the CEO of BlackRock says what? That crypto could become great asset class. Crypto could become great asset class. And of course, these are news that when I see them right now, I get excited because these are the same people in 2018. They were saying Bitcoin is a bubble, Bitcoin is a scam, Bitcoin is a pyramid scheme, Bitcoin is all that. But too bad if you listen to them because back then they were saying that they were still accumulating Bitcoin. They were still accumulating cryptocurrencies. So don't listen to what they say, do what they are doing. Let's read another news over here. Brevan Howard to start investing in crypto. Brevan Howard is an asset management company. Brevan Howard is an asset management company. The British hedge fund, look again, this is another hedge fund, is set to begin investing in digital assets. These are reported by Bloomberg. So I think they are holding, they would invest, sorry about this, let me close this. So sorry about that. I think I'm opening so many. So you can see these. So this is another hedge fund that is wants to put. Let me just read these. People familiar with the matter told Bloomberg that the company would invest up to 1.5% of its 7.6 billion fund in digital assets. So how much money is that? Institutional money is flowing to the crypto space, and you can see no company wants to be left. Let's go to now insurance company. Insurance giant AXA, Switzerland now allows a customer, sorry about this. There's a lot of pop-ups. In fact, I need some more people can see over here. Okay, so insurance giant AXA, Switzerland now allows customers to pay premiums in Bitcoin. Who would never thought this? I think it's like a dream come true. I think Louis can attest to this. 2018, when we started crypto education, and I used to tell people to come to a time where even companies will accept Bitcoin in terms of premiums. And this is an insurance company, the giant insurance company in Switzerland. We're telling you what? Now you can pay us premiums in Bitcoin. I wonder whether they will be paying also back to clients using Bitcoin or they're just accumulating. I don't know whether it will be a one-way traffic or both way. We will yet to see. The space is still growing. To some other news, some other exciting news from London is that you can now buy the most expensive property with Bitcoin in London. The most expensive property, just 1 second, laptop is buffering. Here we are, more people here. So you can buy now London's most expensive property with Bitcoin. So if you have accumulated a lot of Bitcoins, if you are a whale right now, you can go with around $240 million worth of Bitcoins or Ethereum, and you can access the most expensive property in London. So those are some of the news that came this week. And still in Europe, it's good to know that Europe Investment Bank reportedly to issue bonds with blockchain technology. I think this is some of the things we've been talking about, that blockchain is a cryptocurrency. When it comes to blockchain technology, is like email to internet. It's just a drop in the ocean. We're gonna see a whole lot of other use cases of blockchain as time goes by. But the first use case that has been tested, verified, and it's working is cryptocurrency. But we're gonna see a whole lot of other use cases. You can see these. The EIB has reported hired banks like Goldman Sachs and Societe Generale to explore digital bond registered and settled via blockchain. So I think these are some of the things that we're going to see the whole of this decade, where blockchain will be used to also do so many other stuff apart from cryptocurrencies. So moving on forward, California's billionaire real estate firm, a billionaire real estate firm, to begin allowing tenants to pay rent in Bitcoin. This is interesting. And I think this goes very well with what Louis was sharing with us in his session. That now we've gone there to where people don't even understand what is happening, but everybody wants in. Everybody wants to just jump into the bandwagon. And I don't know what's going to happen in the next 2, 3, 5 years, but I think it will be so interesting if you really don't understand what you're getting into. And that's why we always tell people, educate yourself first. Moving on to Dubai. Dubai's economic department roll out blockchain-based corporate KYC. This is another use case of blockchain technology. I think there's an article we read in 2018 where Dubai had suggested that by 2030 it will be a full blockchain operated country by 2030. This is one of their goals they had back in 2018, and you can see they are not stopping. Right now they'll start rolling out blockchain-based corporate KYC. Moving on swiftly, we all know UNICEF. And UNICEF started what we call a crypto fund, and it has gotten $1 million in institution Bitcoin donation. So you can see institutions have started giving their donations now using Bitcoin. And of course, it's good to note that Huobi, one of the exchanges, crypto exchanges, has donated around 425,000 worth of Bitcoin to UNICEF, with a sizable fiat stash still to come for its innovation fund. So UNICEF told, I think this was in 2018, where they just gave a report and said, yes, we have a crypto fund and you can fund us using Bitcoin. So you can see where the world is heading, and this shift is happening. I hope you're finding value in what we are sharing with you. Moving on swiftly to my almost second last news. Last week, I think the last week but one, we were talking about NFTs, and you can see New York Stock Exchange is launching NFTs. and this is amazing. It is just amazing. Um, and NFTs are non-fungible tokens, and it's interesting to know how they work. I think also here back in Kenya, our own Eliud Kipchoge sold one of his portraits as an NFT token. It went for 4 million Kenya shillings. And I was just sharing with Louis that anytime if you're an artist and you get into NFTs, you always get to earn what we call like passive income when the portrait change hands from one investor to another, from one investor to another for a lifetime. It's not like when you're selling just your portrait straight from one person to a customer. You give all the rights. With NFTs, something is left on your side, and you'll be making passive investment for the longest time ever. So you can see New York Stock Exchange also, they have started launching NFTs, when people gonna make a lot of money who understand what NFTs are with time to come. So again, in other news, you can see Bitcoin time has come. Time magazine to hold BTC on balance sheet is one of the oldest magazines in the US. And of course, Time magazine has partnered with Grayscale to drop a series of education crypto videos and has agreed to do what? To be paid in Bitcoin. They have agreed to be paid in Bitcoin. So the shift is happening, and it's good to see what is happening. On other news, this Ukrainian government, I think 2 weeks ago, they, they told any government official who holds crypto to declare. And so far, you can see Ukrainians have declared to own over 45,000 Bitcoins. These are the people who declared what they are holding. And of course, I don't know whether everybody did that, but you can read over here, civil servants, policemen, diplomats, and overall 652 Ukrainians have declared they own Bitcoin and other cryptos following a law that requires a declaration of Bitcoin holding. So only 652 people declared what they are holding, and you can see they are holding up to 46,351 Bitcoins, which is now worth $2.6 billion. And so you can imagine only three declared ownership of 397 declared ownership of Bitcoin, 157 declared ownership of Ethereum. So government came up and said, if you're working for us, if you're a civil servant, you need to declare how much of cryptocurrencies you're holding. I don't know how that will go with the entire Ukrainians if somebody was told to really declare what they're holding. So I think I'll stop my news there. I think our time is almost up. So then we can just check what is happening on the chat room. I'm sure Louis has been answering some of the questions over there. So if you have any burning questions, you can go ahead. You can unmute yourself, and or you can drop it. You can drop it on the chat. We'll be able to discuss and also help you out on it. In case also you need to understand or you have anything you want us to discuss also next week, same time at 10 a.m. You can also share with us. This has been running for the longest time ever. We love educating people. We are not here to promote anything. We are here to just share information, show you where the world is heading, because sad fact is that if you go to other parts of the world, people and even institutions talk well about Bitcoin. Governments are pushing for crypto education so that they don't want to be left behind. But if you come to Africa, all you get is sanctions for banks. If they get you dealing with Bitcoin, your bank your accounts are closed and stuff. And for me, I'm like, instead of fighting it, why not embrace it so that we can grow even Africa as a whole? Because any other innovation that has come, we've always been end users. I don't think there's any innovation that has come and started from Africa except M-Pesa. That has really done well out there. It's only money, mobile money transfer. And it takes me, I feel at times bad because why our most of our leaders in Africa, why are they afraid of change? Why do they just want to really just get stuck with the old ways of doing things? Why? Things are changing, and if you don't change with the changing times, of course, what you're using will be obsolete. It will be obsolete. And you'll find that, like what Eric Hopper says, in times of change, learners inherit the earth, while the learned find themselves living in a world that no longer exists. Because honestly, if you look back and ask yourself, back when we were growing up, you remember a lot of things that were happening then, they are not happening today. And I usually tell people, look at any innovation that comes, there's always the resistance. There's always resistance. And the people who usually benefit are the people who embrace through the right knowledge. Don't jump to anything that you don't understand. Please do your own research before you get into anything. Do your own research. Ask the right questions. Ask the right questions. So I don't want to go because I usually feel a lot of heavy heart when I think of Africa and adoption. But big up to people like Econ. Econ is building a city, a crypto city. I saw already he has gotten another land in Uganda. Uganda also wants that Econ city to happen again in Uganda. These are some of the things that excite me. These are some of the things that excite me. I saw also in Nigeria, the government had banned crypto trading. They have softened their stand right now. They are saying, no, we didn't ban crypto trading. And of course, we are looking at how we're going to come up with regulation to help people do it in a more, okay, they're saying legal way. It's not that they're doing it illegal, but in a more standardized way according to the laws in Nigeria. So these are some of the things I'm looking forward to Africa, when people will embrace what is happening across the globe so that we can grow together, as a whole. So I see some suggestions on the list. Valerie is asking, she would like to know more about NFTs. So I think next Saturday we can share more on NFTs, how they work, what are they. I think I'll do more research on that. We'll do more research on that, myself and Louise, and then we can share more on non-fungible tokens. So also Dr. Jordan, also he'd like to learn more about NFTs. That will be our next Saturday's topic, NFTs. So, okay, Dr. Jordan, you're saying I'd like to buy coins. Can you advise which are the best coins to buy? I'll give my opinion and Louis will give his opinion. My opinion is this: I'll never tell anybody what coin to buy. Reason being, we are in what we call a Bitcoin bull market. And during a bull market, Bitcoin, altcoins, and shitcoins, all of them perform. But when there's a correction, Bitcoin and altcoins, I mean, good cryptos that have use cases. What they do during a correction downward or a bear market, they do a correction. Shitcoins, they dump. And a whole lot of people will lose their money. Yesterday, I think I got 4 calls, people asking me, how can I buy Dogecoin? Just yesterday. And I was asking them, what is happening with Dogecoin? And they're like, no. So Dogecoin has done 100%. And I'm like, it's okay. And I asked them, do you know what Dogecoin means? Do you know the use cases of Dogecoin? Do you know how it started? And they say no. I'll tell you one thing for a fact. During a bull market, never follow the price. It's called a pump. you're gonna get what we call a dump, and a dump will take away all of your money. So Louis, can you share a little bit about which coins to buy? For me, I don't tell people which coins to buy. Do your own research. Do your own research. Louis?
Yes, thank you for that, Lawrence. I think it's good to be clear because there's nothing as good as giving you the truth. Because even the Bible says you have to the truth shall set you free. So the most unfortunate thing when people come to cryptocurrency first, they think they're going to be billionaires tomorrow or the next month. So there's so much emotions that comes into buying some coins. So let's say if my Lawrence and myself, let's say recommends to you a coin today, and you know very well, crypto is very volatile. One thing to be clear, of course, is that this is not financial advice. That I think we need to be clear on that. That said, the fact that we are on a bull market, meaning everything is going up in price. Had you bought Dogecoin last year, or yeah, last year when it was just when nothing was happening, you actually you the one spending today, but you don't come in today and say you want to buy Dogecoin, and you don't even know what Dogecoin is. Most people actually, same as Lawrence, found people inboxing me. I want to buy Bitcoin. So even you even ask the guy, okay, do you know what Bitcoin is? First of all, they are like, no. See, I've had nimesikia in a panda, then they want to buy. So you see, that kind of emotion is what at the end people get disappointed. They buy at the top, then over side they see a huge drop. I think even you say actually Obago says Dogecoin came down yesterday. So imagine if I told you yesterday to buy Dogecoin, but knowing what you know, will not advise you to buy to get into the market right now. The first thing that needs to get into is to get into understanding, get into awareness, get into these the basic fundamentals. At least have a little bit of idea of what you're buying. So even by the time you're buying XY coin, you know what it is that they are trying to achieve, what it is that it's trying to do. That way you don't get to lose in the long run. Because you don't want to tell you buy this, then 1 week down the line, you see an 80% correction, meaning you put $1,000, then 1 week later you realize, oh, I only have what is that 2K? $20 from $1,000 $20. You'll be like, I called you, but you need to understand that these are the dynamics, and that's why you say it's very important for you to get a basic understanding. Then as you go by, then even you yourself you'll be comfortable to like, okay, Louis, what do you think about this coin? In fact, without telling me, now tell me, okay, based on what you've shared, this I think is okay. But I think for now we will not be recommending coins unless you've gone through maybe our masterclass. I think we did last time, and I believe the guys we took to the masterclass, the coins we gave them after the class as a bonus. I think they should be happy. I think maybe yeah, I think that is my take. Yeah.
And also, it's good to, now that you've mentioned that, and crypto space is full of emotions. And I think Lou has mentioned the last masterclass we shared some cryptos, and we were just sharing like an example of how you can invest for long time. Number one, I tell people, remember you're dealing with an asset. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is not a get rich quick scheme. If you're not coming here for a long time, please go do what you've been doing. It's been working for you, please go do it. But if you want to accumulate massive wealth when it comes to cryptocurrency, you're going to do what we call think long term. Rome was not built in a day. And the reason I tell people are losing money because they want to put money today and they want to become millionaires the next day. But in real sense, how much time do you need for you to become a millionaire? How long does it take for you to save $10,000? It takes a whole lot of time, sweat, and also sacrifice. Don't go for microwave, it's called microwave returns. It's gonna pop up. It doesn't happen. So basically, Louis has mentioned about the crypto we suggested last time during our masterclass, and I think some of the people who were in our masterclass are also here. And disclaimer, I think they did very well, honestly. From I think $300 to $20,000 in 1 year. Good return. I hope whoever did that gave thanks to God, because it's not about us. It's not about what we tell people to do. It's about just really having that long-term mentality. But you can also join our Telegram channel where we share market views each and every other day. Louis does a very good analysis of the market where he shares each and every other morning about what is happening in the meet. So what I will urge everybody who is in the call today is seek information, seek knowledge, but don't let that knowledge sit on ice. Also take action. Because 5 years from now, you won't be any different with a person who died more in the Bitcoin if you never ever took any action. I'll give you a very good example. I knew Bitcoin in 2010, $9. You think if I took action today, I'll be seated where I'm seated today? Hell no. No. It was at 9 shillings. If I took just 1,000 Kenya shillings, how many Bitcoin will I have gotten in 2010? So basically, I wish you a blessed weekend. I don't think I have anything in store. We are prepping for our next masterclass. We'll be communicating soon. Hope to see you next week on Saturday. I wish you blessings. I wish you all the best in everything that you are doing. Forget all the fun, fears, uncertainty, and doubt news you're getting out there. Don't follow YouTube channel people who tells you to invest in some shit coins because they are being paid to do that. And this is the reason why I tell people, do your own research. Do your own research. And it takes time for you to understand, why am I investing in a certain cryptocurrency? So I usually tell people, if you're not willing to give time to invest in a cryptocurrency in terms of learning, just buy Bitcoin and hold it for long term. You're gonna save yourself a lot of hassle and a lot of money. Otherwise, blessings. Enjoy your weekend. Parting Louis. So I wish you all the best. I wish you blessings. I hope you found value in what we've shared today. Remember, join our Telegram channel. You can also go to our YouTube channel and also watch the classes we've been sharing. I do wish you all the best. God bless you all.